Hello, my name is Katrina. I'm a 16-year-old girl who lives in Miami. I'm almost 17 in 2 months-ish. Anyhow, I have clinical depression. And I say that with a smile now because I'm not exactly, you know, it's not exactly as bad as it was before. I think I'm pretty recovered. I mean, I know I'm pretty recovered, I guess. I know I'm recovered. It's like, it's really hard to explain. Depression is really hard to explain, almost impossible, and that's what I'm going to try to do in this video, and which is, it's unscripted for that reason, because it's really hard to just explain how something so terrible feels. Have you ever, like, I mean, for those of you who are watching this who don't have depression, have you ever, um, lost someone, like, really, really close to you? Grief isn't the same as depression. But imagine explaining that feeling to someone who has never lost someone, explaining it with this full force and being accurate about it. Imagine if when you lost someone close to you, people told you to butch up and get over it. This doesn't happen usually in our society. People recognize that it's okay to be sad when you lose a loved one, but it's not so well recognized that you can be sad because your brain is deficient in a chemical or whatever causes your depression. That's not recognized as okay in our society. But really, it is okay in the grand scheme of things. It's okay to be not okay, to use a cliche. Um, and just like a person who's lost a loved one, depression isn't something you really get over permanently, but it starts to hurt less and less and less, and there are things that will bring back the pain, maybe, of your loss or your depression. But and unlike losing a loved one, depression can be pretty episodic. I mean, it is episodic. um it comes back full force for a lot of people. I've had multiple episodes of depression, but I think that happened to me because the first time I really was younger. I was younger. I I think the first time really ended after seventh grade, and then the second time started in 10th. So I guess it'd be like kind of like losing two loved ones, but if your loved ones were twins, because it's I don't know. It's hard to explain. And even though I've been explaining it through the concept of loss, I want to say again that it doesn't feel exactly like that at all. It doesn't. For a lot of people, it doesn't feel anything like loss. Depression comes in so many different forms. It's not just sadness and such a simple term. Depression is nothing like those days when you're just down for 2 or 3 days. Nothing like that. It feels nothing like that. Something that's very defined in my mind that I remember about last year when I was really, really, really depressed is just sitting in math class. And no, I wasn't depressed just because I was in math class. Although math class is rather saddening because why do we have to be there? But I remember sitting there and I was listening to my teacher, but not really, because who listens to math teachers? I failed that class, so I shouldn't be talking like this. I paid attention all the time. It's totally unfair that I failed. No, I didn't fail. I got bad grade the first quarter. Stupid 5-point rule. So anyhow, I remember sitting there, and I didn't understand a thing of it. I'm like, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Everyone in this class is better than me. Maybe I don't care. I'm sitting there just like in my jacket. And I wanted to take a step back from the world and disappear. I wanted to stop existing. Because all I could ever do is fail. I felt the world just as if it was all glaring at me. As if everyone was paying attention to every little failure that I made. As if everyone cared, but no one did. Everyone cared about how I failed, but no one cared about me. No one. Not even myself. And yet I did. I wanted to be happy. I just didn't know how. And I don't even know how to explain it. I'm trying. It's really frustrating to try to explain this kind of pain. It's not even like a pain. It hurts really bad, but it feels like nothing at the same time. And feels like frustration and numbness and confusion. A lot of confusion is in there. It feels like being really lost. And I used to have this saying. I said, I'm not lost. I always know where I am. And I meant that physically. Like, I don't get lost. I don't get lost in malls. I always know that I'm at the mall, whatever. But in that moment, I didn't know where I was in life. I didn't know where I was going. And who would have guessed it would have been here, right? Who would have guessed? Something I said last night, it was related to something else, so you might not get the reference. The number of days. For 372 days, this lasted, and it ended. But God knows where I'll be in the next 372 days. I was talking about the loss of a friendship that I recently experienced. And no matter what your past is, the future could be bright, but you can't see that sometimes. It's really hard to tell where I'm going with this video. And yeah, I'm trying really, really, really hard. It's just like, I'm constantly trying to tell my story to the world. And I never know exactly how to tell it because it's just like, this depression is such an integral part of it that something so hard to explain is going to take me a lifetime to do so when I have other stuff to do with my life. But I'm just trying to get, you know, the gist of it down. I'm just, I don't know. You know how some days you just want to stay in bed because you're tired? I was tired all the time. But it was a different sort of tired. It was a tired that really wears you down more than normal tired. It ties you to the ground and it ties your mind down. It just shuts you down. But it's a tired that really has nothing to do with how much you sleep. It's more about this fogginess in your mind. And have you ever seen a picture of a depressed person's brain next to a normal person's brain? Wait. Let me see this. Sorry. Um, wait a second, sorry. And of course, this doesn't mean that a person with depression is less intelligent or anything. It actually just means that there's less. You know when you're really happy and your brain doesn't want to stop wandering around, just like you're just like really, really jumpy and you're really just like thinking about 1,000 things. That's not happening when you're depressed, obviously. It's not happening at all. Depression is so many things, and there's so many different types, and there's so many different points of it, and it's so hard to explain. I spent so much of my life thinking that I'm ugly, and stupid, and worthless, and weak. But I've been bullied since I was 5. And for the first time today, I really did something about it. It was something most people would consider small, and some people would consider dumb. I told a teacher about it, and kids got a referral for throwing paper at me in class. I felt really strong, and I felt really good, and I still feel really good about it. I took a stand for myself. I respected myself, really. It's a form of self-respect to do something about it. I'm advocating for myself. And that's something I honestly feel is really good. I'm really happy about it. I've been bullied since I was 5, as I said, and it's always been so bad. I think in elementary school I had a total of 3 friends, and most of them not at the same time. Um, in 4th grade, that was the worst year. That was the year though that I had all 3 friends at the same time. So that was nice. And I guess when last year I remember I started talking to other people who were really depressed like me, and I remember thinking a lot of them were abused. They had really big problems with their family. They were sick, or someone they knew was sick. Someone they were close to was dying. They had a disability. They were broke. They were poorer than I was, and then like these people have reason to be depressed, and I don't. Don't be. First of all, you don't need a reason. Your brain doesn't need a reason. It's chemical deficiency, but also I did have a reason. I didn't want to accept it. I'm the kind of person who blame themselves over anyone else, and it's been really hard on me. I found support in all this pain, though. I found support, and the best thing to me is that through all this, I've had so many people telling me how determined I am, and I realized that I'm really determined. It's part of who I am, and a lot of people tell me I inspire them, and at first I'm like, why? I just keep going. I'm like the Energizer Bunny of depressed people, except I'm not depressed anymore. And recovery doesn't mean your life is gonna be perfect. As I said, I lost a friend a few weeks ago. I was really upset, but I wasn't really trapped as I was before. I thought I was gonna spiral down again, and it was the same friend who told me when I said that if I ever got this bad again, I'd get hope. She's like, don't let it get that bad again. And I didn't. It can be really, really hard. And it can be really, really bleak sometimes. But the reality is that there's more than you think. If you think there's nothing, or if you don't know, that uncertainty is part of, no one's sure of their future. But surely there is a future. I mean, something within you is bound to be able to change somehow. No, it's not a flaw. It's not a character weakness. It's not something you can just push up and get over. It's something you have to work through it. Your mind and your body and yourself, and no one's the enemy. Your emotions aren't the enemy. Depression isn't even the enemy. If I could go back and change everything so that I never got bullied, I never had depression, I never considered suicide, I wouldn't. And that sounds really dumb. Like, who would want this? I don't want this. I didn't want that. But some of the best things in my life right now, I gained because I was led to it by my depression. Some of the best friends I have. And I had so many people tell me that I was. You have no idea, or maybe you do, how that feels. Because I know something in me yearns to change something, and that's something that really bothered me when I was depressed. I'm not doing anything. I'm not changing anything. Little did I know I was. I don't know. I just talk to people a lot. I like to talk through things with people. I guess that helps some people a lot. Yeah, damn right. I sound really vain right now, don't I? I sound really overconfident. But you know what? When you hate yourself for as long as I did, you have every right to be as vain as you want. Well, not really, but you know. I know what I did and I'm acknowledging it. I'm acknowledging all the hardship and I'm opening myself up to judgment. Oh yeah, I'm putting this on the internet. I know what the consequences could be. But you know what? Whatever. I'm a survivor. And I've been a victim in my life. And you know what? There's no shame in being a victim. I've been a victim. And my victiminess, it's what made me strong. I know I was always strong. You have to be really, really, really strong to make it as far as I made it. And I always used to tell myself, you made it through yesterday, you made it through the day before, you made it through years. You can go a day longer. I just took it day by day. And it was really terrifying, but here I am, alive and shit. So I have to go now. But, I mean, I hope at least a few people watch this to the end. I love you. Bye. And, remember that there's something in your future. The nothingness. That's not, the future isn't as bare as you think it is. There's something good in every day. You just have to find it. Promise. Have a nice day. Stay awesome.